left Brian Alden and was in at some time, I myself and a gentleman by the name of Matt Owerding from US, we got together and we initiated what we call the Global Myopia Awareness Coalition. We brought all of industry together initially, brought them in a room and said, look, if you want to take a long-term view of your business, then you should look at awareness. You have a vested interest in public health like anybody else. We brought the professional organizations together, the nonprofits, and we developed this coalition, which now is in its third year of operation, and has launched campaigns in the US using key opinion makers like gamers and these social media celebrities, etc., to get the message out. And we've had fantastic success. The most important thing is that most of those companies, all those companies have put the money to make this happen. And that's going to help your work tremendously. I would advise you to get familiar with the work that's coming out of it. We started in the US, we're now expanding to Europe and other parts. Obviously, resources determine how we expand. But those resources that are being developed through these professional marketing companies, etc., I would advise you to look at that and see how you can integrate that into the way you manage your patients and how you can use those kind of strategies to make parents aware about myopia and what can be done about it. This campaign targets mainly parents. It's not targeting the practitioners, and it also targets key opinion makers in society. And if it continues getting the kind of traction it has, so hopefully it will soon reach millions of people across the world. And our intention as the co-founders of this was really to try and get this message on the agenda of everyone in the world. And also to get the companies to understand more what the challenges in the developing world, because that will help them with their messaging, but it will also help them with the products they develop, the pricing of products, and how they support efforts to create access. I won't go through this, I've mentioned it. We know that on a broader level, myopia impacts on personal, and we've spoken a lot of that, and I'll cover a bit more, health system, professional, and industry, right? And on the personal impact, it's with education, cost of care, if you have eye myopia, or even myopia itself, sorry, it's jumping. Even myopia itself is costly, quality of life, and the cost of correction, and I've spoken about all of that. We know that visual impairment, sorry, that's a recorded slide from, so we know that in terms of education, we've spoken, it has a huge impact. So across the board, myopia impacts on people. And I think we go back to this slide. We need to understand, I've spoken about the health system's cost, I've spoken about industry and its responsibility of the profession and at the personal level. And very rarely, I think you get so many messages to put together in a powerful public health campaign that can go out there. So my message to you today, empower yourself and listen to those continuing education lectures where you have all these clinical interventions, read the International Myopia Institute guidelines, all of that, and build your skills around being a great clinician, which I think is critical. Keep up to date and critically evaluate all the products that are being put on the market, because obviously this space has become sexy. So there's going to be a lot coming in now and everybody's going to be there. Tools like review of myopia management or Kate Gifford's website of myopia profile, they're providing you valuable at your fingertips resources. Use that at that level. But at the same time, ask yourself, how do I connect with my patient differently? How do I look at health promotion? How do I connect with even local governments and, administrations in the areas that I work in to carry this message forward? How do I connect with knock and drop newspapers and social media that exists in my community to get this message across? And how do I become part of the entire myopia initiative, not just the clinical part? And at the same time, remember that the world is watching us. It's the first time in history, we as optometry have an equivalent of an HIV crisis, the equivalent of a diabetes crisis, equivalent of a malaria crisis, equivalent of a COVID crisis in a sense, of course, not as big. A COVID surpasses everything. And if we don't step up as a profession and address this and take the leadership, future generation of optometrists will judge us badly because we lost the golden opportunity to play a leadership role in the health system. But secondly, society is going to judge us harshly because we have not stood up and served the people at a very critical public health crisis time.